Keep in mind, I'm a victim here with over 20 witnesses. The groups in the area have turned against me. There's a lot of people trying to get me to play stupid about that, but it's very key in what's going on here. And the fact that society is run by narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, okay, uh, um, people who suffer from psychosis, and sexual sadists. These are the most pronounced features of the world, okay, the global system of the world, okay. This is the most pronounced aspect. These people love to feign humility. It's part of their disorders. They love to pretend that they're ideal. We'll get into that more in part 2. Part 1, I'm just going to give you a kind of summary of what's going on in a way that no one can deny. Okay, remember that in the story, regardless if the story is true, the fact that it could easily be true is very important. In the story, Jesus was said to be crazy, okay? And the prophets before that had called people who do not live a moral life crazy. But Jesus was said to be crazy by the Jews and the Romans, okay? And they give him a crown of thorns and say, oh, he's the king of the Jews. Say this guy has an inflated sense of self-importance. So he was accused of that. So if someone was doing the right thing, whether they're son of God or not, and they were to come to earth, society historically is likely to accuse them of being a narcissist of sorts. What is narcissistic personality disorder? The key characteristics that are often cited are an inflated sense of self-importance, an excessive craving for admiration, and a diminished ability to emphasize with others, okay, and their feelings. Now, what does this really mean? If I'm not considering a psychopath's need to kill people, am I a narcissist? No. Am I considering a pedophile's need to molest children? Am I a narcissist? No. Okay? It has to be with the scale of universal pinpoint and moral precision. However, this is often and basically never how psychiatry and mental health applies it. They do it based on the cultural standards of that society. Psychiatry in Saudi Arabia is different than in America, and it's different in Russia, and it's different in African countries, and so on and so forth. Okay, there is no universal psychiatry for everybody. However, in their regions, they treat it as one size fits all. I would venture to say that psychiatry in California is not the same as psychiatry in Texas. Okay, it is highly political. They start to describe things fairly accurately, but they don't precisely describe them, and they leave room for the political abuse of psychiatry, which is what it's really for. So, when we look at the problem here, narcissism acts as what is called a social contagion, right? It is contagious. When someone's a narcissist and they start creating a society of narcissists, a social club, a corporation, a group, an entity, the other people there, they get triggered. It's like I compare it to being in a bar and everyone's watching a sports game. They're behaving one way outside of the bar. Once they get to the bar, they start behaving another way because they're in a certain spirit, like a school spirit. The dominating principles of an energy, of the way about people, right? The essence of them, their characteristics, their emotions, their principles, okay? The spirit of narcissism is alive and well and dominates society. And again, there's also psychopaths, sociopaths, people suffering from psychosis, and sexual sadists, and these are dominant spirits in society. All right. Psychiatrists often use the word hereditary. Okay, and we have various breeding groups in society, social clubs for social engineering, urban planning, and it affects social life, social relationships, social media, dating sites. People are dating with narcissistic, psychopath, sociopath, sexual sadists, and psychotic scales. Okay, that's how wrong they are, and that's why I'm being shunned here, and I'll prove that definitively in this video and part 2. If you are a business leader trying to create and maintain wealth in a crony capitalist, a dog-eat-dog society, any nation on the planet, and your partners are psychopaths, sociopath, narcissists, sexual sadists, psychotic, what have you, then you are one or more of these things as well. There's no other way it could be. These are personality disorders. These are character flaws, right? Judging people by the content of their character. When you're marrying somebody who's a narcissist or psychopath and da-da-da-da-da, okay? In reality, not with a regional scale of psychiatry, but a universal scale in reality. Okay? You are not judging people fairly by the content of the character. When attractive women go to these people, it is an extreme failure of society. I think it was Karl Marx, and I'm not a communist, mind you, who said that one measure of a society is how they treat their women. Someone like that said that. You can throw that out if you want, but you know I'm right either way. All right. Let us also remember no servant can be greater, and people are slaves to what is mastered them. So if your master is a narcissist and you're following his plan, and society's narcissistic and you're conforming, then you're a narcissist too. You're no better than they are in a sense, but you're not a greater narcissist than they are as well. Okay, because they're leading the charge. They're the king. They're the king of narcissism. They're the essence. They're the center of it. They're the chain of command and what have you. Anyway, God doesn't want a bunch of, I'm going to throw this in here quickly, just touch on religion quickly, and we'll go back to the scientific kind of approach. God doesn't want a bunch of these types of people to say that they are saved by faith, while they are complicit with mass murder, mass drugging, mass rape, mass deceit, mass exploitation, and eugenics. A core part of the problem on the planet is a global social engineering eugenic plan. Okay? I also use the example of those of you who say, well, that's just how it is. You know, again, we'll go off the topic real quickly so you understand how serious this is. You say, well, that's just how it is, so get used to it. If there's 99 people on a boat waiting to be saved and they want to rape one attractive woman, should they say, hey, you know what? That's how it is. And she's just one person. Why should all of us suffer and not having our intimacy needs met for that person? Okay? Now, you would say, of course not. Why not? Because the amount of time they've established that area, on a boat, waiting to be picked up. America's only been around for like 250 years or so. Okay? Does that apply here? Should we not have a democracy? You see what I'm saying? Morality is greater than a group consensus. And people who don't understand that are called stupid motherfuckers. Okay. Next point. Martin Luther King Day. Okay, first of all, Carlton, Shaq, and Michael Jordan, are they all the same person? Are they all equal? Are they all worthy of admiration? Do they all have the same genetic worth? No. Carlton is inferior to Michael Jordan, and so is Shaq. Okay? Now, why is that? Shaq's just a big, dumb gorilla who throws his weight around. Michael Jordan is smarter and wittier and has a certain kind of refined genetic form. Now, this is significant, mind you, because this is part of why they accuse me of having an inflated sense of ego, because they do not concede the Carlton, Jordan, Shaq argument in terms of everyone else like them. They say, well, that's Michael Jordan. Well, he's a celebrity. Okay? That's not good enough, obviously. Someone who's more like Michael Jordan is superior to someone who's more like Carlton or more like Andre the Giant and Shaq. Okay? For the same reason the cheetah is faster than the turtle. It is just natural qualities that transcend as their sum total the other qualities. Okay? If you don't understand why I'm right, you are a dumb motherfucker who chugged the Kool-Aid for a long time. All right. So Martin Luther King Day, moral supremacy and the content of the character versus the top 1%. So why isn't there a Michael Jordan Day on that same token? Because character and moral will is greater than physical achievement. And Michael Jordan is not a moral figure, and he's not Martin Luther King. For the same reason in martial arts. Character is greater than technique. The person with great character should not be taught by people who conform to the narcissistic, psychopathic, psychotic, sociopathic, and sexual sadist eugenic global world. Pretty straightforward. My next point. Eugenics versus my war on poverty plan. Was my war on poverty plan in a nutshell? To create more jobs with tax-based funding and to end homelessness. I want to generate $60 billion a year, okay? Based on how much your population you have there, California is like 1 in 10 people in the country live in California, so they get a tenth of that $6 billion a year to end homelessness in California and to create government-funded jobs and to do research into how we can get people to learn more effectively so they stay in school and get degrees and possibly shave off some unneeded courses and give them some specialized degrees to go into specialized fields of work. This has some communist-like aspects to it, but it's called common fucking sense. Okay, just like welfare is a social program. There's said to be 60 million people on welfare. I read one place. I don't know if it's true, but that's a ridiculous amount of people to be on welfare. 60 million fucking people, instead of coming up with ways to help these people learn in school and get jobs they can do and generate tax revenue and make a better society. Now, it's a global society. They don't want to see America shoot up to the top. So they said, hey, globalists said, do it this way. And that's part of why this is happening. Ironically, why the right wing complains about the globalists and they complain about the welfare, they complain about trying to help the poor, okay, in a logical way, it's actually the globalists is keeping their nation down. And it's actually needing to help the poor more effectively progress. That is what's needed to make America great. Okay, and that's strange how that works. All right. So the global eugenic program to make certain people seem superior. Now this is interesting. When we look at things, when we look at genes, because a part of it is their image and it's their natural way about them. Their argument is tantamount. It's similar. It's the same as saying Carlton is greater than Michael Jordan. Okay, it's greater than Michael Jordan mixed with Martin Luther King. Because their argument is some nerd frat guy should be seen as superior and the ideal choice for jobs and so on and so forth. Okay, and in order to do that, they have to cause 9 million people starve to death, 3 million people, 3 million of their children, and all this exploitation, murder, drugging, all this horrible stuff that goes on in the world to occur, to achieve something that cannot be achieved. And they want a global slave system, even though it's not better for them or their kids. We don't have a rich bitch day of the year. We have a Martin Luther King day, okay? Because everyone knows that it's a failed life to be a rich, exploitive piece of shit. But having character is true life, wisdom, and success. So the Bible will say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It's the beginning. If you do not fear God enough to have character, you have failed in life, and everyone picks up on that. So you are setting up for your kids to fail and for you to fail. And narcissists are even said to have inferior sex lives and intimacy needs. Their intimacy needs, are met in an inferior manner.